Santa Monica Sports Minute. Football season 2013 recap. Trick plays, are they violating the accepted standards of sportsmanship? And who will be returning for next season?
Hi SMC, welcome to the Corsair Sports Minute. I'm Nicola Hatpor.
And I'm David Yapkowitz, sports editor for the Corsair. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the 2013 Santa Monica college football season.
Oh, and trick plays too.
That's right, we do have a special segment on trick plays. How's that looking, Nikki?
Jonathan Ramos and Henry Crumlish have the story.
Trick plays. Are they a novelty? Are they good, they bad, or downright villainous? If you were to ask the SMC football team 2 weeks ago, they would say they're championship caliber. Where in the fourth quarter, the Corsairs debuted a new trick play called soft serve that not even head coach Gifford Lindheim had witnessed before. The play consisted of a lateral to left tackle Marquis Shakir, who stepped back for a 50-yard pass into the end zone. The pass clinched not only the game, but the third straight conference title for SMC and the football program. If you were to ask me, I feel that the tactics were a little underhanded and utilized deception too much in such a crucial game to the program. But not everyone feels the same way I do.
I don't feel the same way. I don't feel that it was underhanded or disrespectful at all. The play actually is not in any violation of any rule book, and it gives these 300-pound linemen a chance to receive some glory for themselves. You know, it gives these big boys a chance to run, throw a pass, receive some of that glory that the quarterbacks are always getting themselves. What do you think?
What more glory do they need? They were winning the conference title, and they did clinch, and they were already up by 10. What more glory do you need to be on the conference winning team? But if you agree with this nutcase, check back on the Corsair Online, or our final issue of the Corsair, issue 14, for our in-depth analysis of this argument, and both of our articles. Back to you, David and Nikki.
Yeah, how crazy was that SMC was able to win on a tackle-eligible touchdown pass that not even the coach had seen before?
Yeah, it's crazy, but not as crazy as the Corsairs winning their third straight conference championship. And joining David with more on that is Trevor Angoni.
Thanks, Nikki. The SMC football team recently capped off their third consecutive Pacific Conference championship. They beat LA Pierce College at LA Pierce about a week before the end of the season to clinch the title, and then they defeated Antelope Valley College here at home at SMC to wrap the season up. Now, not only did they win the conference title, but they brought their conference winning streak up to 20 consecutive games. Now, quarterback Jerry McConaughey, he was a huge part of the Corsairs' success this season. He took over for the injured Stephen Ham when the Corsairs got off to a bit of a rocky 1-2 start, and he just played phenomenal all season long. I mean, his read option style of play, that was a huge part of their success, a big part of their offense. But their offense, that wasn't the only thing that was really big for them this year. You know, their defense was actually very strong. Huge. It was a phenomenal defense, and head coach Gifford Lindheim, he called it, you know, the best defense he's seen in SMC history. And a big part of that credit really goes to defensive coordinator Steven Garcia. And unfortunately, though, you know, for all the Corsairs' hard work and their efforts this season, you know, winning that third straight conference championship, they actually aren't going to be rewarded with any postseason play. You know, what's going on with that, Trev?
Right you are, David. Okay, so last season we had a different offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator asked to coach a high school all-star game. He was asked to coach a high school all-star game. At that high school all-star game, one of the head coaches for LA Southwest College, he was in attendance. He saw our offensive coordinator coaching the all-star game, got in touch with the proper authorities, reported it. Next thing you know, SMC slapped with a 1-year bowl ban. The offensive coordinator's not around anymore, but Coach Lindheim has to, you know, take this penalty, roll with it, explain it to his team, and explain it to incoming recruits. So, you know, really bad position he was put in, you know. And honestly, if you're that offensive coordinator and you're coaching for SMC and you're asked to coach a high school all-star game, I mean, how do you in your right mind just willy-nilly go off and just do it without talking to the head coach of your college football team that you're coaching, not say a word, and just go off and do it? Next thing you know, the team that you used to coach, you know, totally gets lit up with this 1-year bowl ban. The saddest thing about this is that, you know, Coach Lindheim had no idea, and I talked to him a couple days ago. He said that if he had the slightest idea that his offensive coordinator was going to be coaching that all-star game, he would have put the squadouche on it in like no time, you know, because he knew, you know, the second he heard about it, he was like, oh my God, I can't believe he would even do that, because he knew, you know, without even having to think about it, that he's in direct violation of, you know, recruiting those incoming college freshmen, you know. So just, you know, really too bad for the Corsairs. You know, one man's bad judgment kind of led to the 1-game bowl ban. Fortunately though, it's just a 1-year ban. We'll be right back up on the horse next year, and with some of these returning players we have coming back, it's looking like we're going to have a nice shot at a 4th straight conference championship. So cross your fingers,
Yeah, well, I guess, it's unfortunate they're not going to be in a bowl game this year, but hey, you break the rules like that, I guess you got to pay the penalties.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But yeah, speaking of next season, what's the roster situation looking like? We got anybody coming back? Maybe some incoming recruits? Or
Okay,
like
so incoming or returning players, probably let's start there. Quarterback situation next season is going to be interesting. You have Stephen Ham returning, you have Jerry McConicle returning. Stephen Ham started this season, named starter, won the job, went out 3 games into the season with a 1-2 record. Jerry McConicle steps in, takes over the rest of the season with a little bit of help from Brad Hunt once in a while, but Jerry pretty much takes the reins and doesn't lose from that point on, kind of carrying the Corsairs to that 3rd straight conference championship. So the question is, are they going to name one of the other starter before the season starts? Are they going to have another open competition? It's just very interesting to see what happens with that. Staying with the offense, Anthony Okray, SMC's #1 wide receiver, also returning. As Coach Giver Lindheim said, he just went beast mode the last 3 or 4 games of the season. He was just killing it. Outrunning DBs, making catches over them, just incredible. Now, kind of, switching over to the defense, Nathaniel Almond, one of our returning safeties, like you said, the defense was the backbone of this conference championship. Without them, who knows where we would be. And like I've talked about with Giff, the secondary, the DBs, like he said, the best in SMC history. And I agree, these DBs, they were absolutely incredible. Not only Almond, but, Tyler Hasty and, Dijon, just a lot of really, really good players.
Real solid.
Yeah, no, really, really solid. So at least we get, a safety coming back. I'm sure we'll get a linebacker, a defensive lineman, but we're going to have a lot of offense returning. So, the defense is what we leaned on this year to get us to the conference championship. Next year, we might be leaning on the offense a little bit. So we're just going to have to wait and see, but I feel good about it, for sure.
So it's going to be a little interesting to see how all of this plays out, I guess, it's going to be maybe another kind of growing season, something like that, but...
It's hard to, not have a growing season with, the perennially... young incoming class,
Yeah, so I guess, we'll see how all the pieces fall into play. For Trevor Angoni, I'm David Yapkowitz. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate that SMC wasn't able to go to a bowl game this year. But, there's always next year. Well, thanks for joining us. I'm David Yapkowitz, and this is Nikki Ahadpour. And thanks for watching. Join us next week for another segment of The Corsair Sportsman.
Bye.